Hello, my beautiful friends. So, one of my missions is to help to use technology in our spiritual practice. And I am loving Microsoft's 365 Copilot, which, if you have Microsoft 365, you have Copilot, you can do this. And you can also do create agents, AI agents in ChatGPT or Google Gemini. I'm using Copilot because I think it's the easiest of them to use, and you don't have to know a lot about programming to do it. So, just full disclosure, I would have built something like this for faculty by hand back in the day. I would create little bots and things for them for different projects they were working on, but this does everything in just a few seconds. So, earlier today when I did a little training on how to do it, I learned how to make this. So the first thing I made was a Celtic Spirit Guide Daily. I wanted a daily rune pool. Now, I will say, as a practitioner and a person who reads runes, I prefer the rocks. I prefer to hold them in my hand. I prefer to do it the old-fashioned way that I do it. I don't know that I would rely on an app or on my phone or an app on my computer to do it. But if I were traveling and I couldn't use my stones and I couldn't use my cards, this would be a way that I could do it if I wanted to. And also, it gives you lots of things to think about. When I built it, I wanted the agent to do a few different things. I wanted it to pull a rune. I wanted it to explain the rune. I wanted it to provide journal ideas for writing in my journal. And I wanted more resources to learn about the rune or the concepts that were talked about in the description. So this is what it created. And, I'm just going to say pull my daily rune for October 31st. I spelled October 31st, but it'll figure it out. See how it corrected it? And EWAS. And I actually tested this before I made the video, and that was the rune it pulled, so it must have remembered that. And it's a message of light and love. And these are correct journal prompts. And I always there are 3 steps in AI use. 1 is how you ask the question. 2 is vetting the response, and then 3, deciding how you're going to share what you've made. And so your real work, I think, my real work is always in the vetting of the response. So I check to make sure that these URLs are actually correct and actually have the information, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so that is true. So these work. Now, I had made a meditation guide, which is very similar to rune pulls, but this is really, I wanted it to create 5, 10, or 20-minute meditations focused on Celtic spirituality with meditation prompts, and I wanted it to provide music. And I will say the agent struggles a little bit with that. So let's say I'm going to pick the 10-minute meditation. Right? So it does it, the spiritual prompt, the wisdom of the oak. Oak trees are huge in Celtic spirituality. And then, it asks questions. So that's pretty good. That's pretty straight on and standard. I can have a closing reflection. I can suggest another Celtic meditation prompt. So it's pretty good. However, what I found with some of these YouTube videos is when I copy this and paste it into YouTube, to use for my meditation, it will come up and it'll tell me that the video is dead. And I don't know why that is, because if I search for the video by topic, I can find this video. It just doesn't come up in the agent, and I don't know why. So you have to vet your agent, and you have to make sure that it's something that can be done. I'm not quite sure why. So I'll Scooby-Doo that later. But what I really want to do is show you how to make something that you can use in your own practice, something that's tailored to you. So you go into Copilot, and you go into agents, and you click create agent. And you just describe what it is you want. So let's say I would like to pull a pretty oracle card every day to give me something to journal about. I like Celtic spirituality in the tradition of St. John the Apostle. I love Scotland, Ireland, Wales, England, and Ireland. I said Ireland. I am particularly keen on the Isle of Iona. And it doesn't matter if you spell things wrong because it'll fix it in Scotland. All right, let's see what it does. So it cooks a little bit. It's like the cooking channel. It has to think about it for a hot second. And so we just sit here and watch it. But literally, when I would make bots for faculty, this would take me all summer. This is taking me 20 minutes. All right, so it's going to give a daily oracle card for journaling inspired by Celtic spirituality. So I need to create a name for my agent, and it'll suggest one. I don't want to make it specific to Iona, so I'm going to say I want to call it the Celtic Spirit Guide Daily Oracle. So it'll rename it. And then it'll refine what you want the agent to do. And it actually gives you some suggestions. Do you want the agent to provide a short reflection? And yes, you want all that. Yes, all that. Give me all of that. It refines again. Now you can add some websites in if you like. Let's say I wanted to add in the URL of St. Bridget of Kildare, of the convent there or whatever, or if I wanted to add in the Iona community website, right? I could add those resources there. If I had specific URLs I wanted to make sure got captured, I could do that, or I could just leave this blank. And if I'm ready, I go up here and I hit create. And it again takes a minute to cook. And this is so cool. You can use this, as you can see on the side, I made one for my students. They can have tea with any woman who is a female author. I did one, I was testing, agents for the work I do in my day job, right? So I've been building these in all the different areas that I work in to see what I could make. So now I can go to the agent, and here's my Celtic Spirit Guide Daily. So I'm going to pick a daily oracle card. We'll see. I'm interested to see if it does the graphics. The veil between the worlds. Okay, so it did well with the text. What it didn't do is provide an image. So that's maybe a limitation right now. But that's pretty good, and I can copy it. I can like it. I can edit it in Pages. I can share a blessing. It will guide me through meditation. It recognizes today is Samhain, and it can I don't know, let's see if it'll tell us about Samhain and traditions. And it knows who I am because of course this is tied to my account. So this is, just a quick way to make a tool that really brings meaning to your own practice, whatever you're into. If you're into crystals, pick a daily crystal. If you're working on shadow prompts, you can have it create a shadow prompt every day. So it's really a cool tool for you to use for your practice. Now, what if I want to share this? Like, what if I want to share this with my friends? Can I do that? Well, you can go up here and you can click here and you can share it this way, right? And right now it's only available to me. So if I copy this link, it's only available to me. You can share it with somebody in your organization or specific users in your organization. You can copy this link. You can copy the code. You can go, you can edit. That wasn't where I wanted to do it. You can copy the code on the back end and then share it or write it in some other place. But for now, this is the way you do it. It's really a tool for you, and then you can copy the code and you can do other things with it. But that's a whole other video. This is really just something to help you if you want to use this for your own spiritual practice. So I am wishing you all the very best in light and love. I'd love to see what you create. If you create something, please post it in the comments below so I can see what it is that you've made and if it worked seamlessly for you. And if you have any questions, post them in discussion below. I'm happy to walk you through if I can help you. I am wishing you all the best in light and love. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye.